What's up guys, it's Toby here and welcome to a very exciting Liverpool transfer news video, because the German newspaper Bild is reporting that Liverpool want to sign the huge German talent Kai Havertz. He is a Bayer Leverkusen midfielder, just 20 years old, and he scored an incredible 20 goals this season that just finished for Bayer Leverkusen. And I think that this guy is an even bigger talent than João Felix. If you watched him for Bayer Leverkusen last season, he was outstanding, incredible. The best young player in the Bundesliga right now, arguably, or at least one of the best, definitely in the top 5. And even though he is just 20 years old, he was the third highest goal scorer in the Bundesliga last season. Marco Reus and Robert Lewandowski were the only players in the Bundesliga to outscore him. He scored 17 goals in the Bundesliga. And listen to this. Bild newspaper claim that Bayer Leverkusen don't really want to sell him, of course, for anything less than 100 million euros, which is like 90 million pounds. But there is every chance that this young player, even if a club like Liverpool pay 100 million pounds for him or 100 million euros for him, repays his value, because as I said, he is a generational talent. People are saying that he is a player between a kind of a playing style of Franz Beckenbauer and Michael Ballack. And not since Steven Gerrard did Liverpool have a midfielder who could score 10, 15, 20 goals a season regularly. So I would be all over this transfer. Guys, if you enjoy these transfer news updates, leave a like. It just takes a second and it really helps me out and shows me that you guys enjoy the videos. And subscribe, turn on the bell notifications so you never miss the latest Liverpool transfer news updates on my channel. Check back daily, because I'm uploading these every single day and it's so much fun to make. Kai Havertz has a very big skill set. He is very quick, very skillful on the ball. He has a brilliant long-range strike on him. You don't score 20 goals in a season as a 20-year-old in the Bundesliga if you don't have a brilliant long shot on you. And what makes him such an effective goal scorer is his intelligence. Not only is he able to sense and predict the direction of the play, where the football play is going before most, but already at 20 years old he perfected his timing, the way that he runs into the box to score. He reminds me of Steven Gerrard, of Frank Lampard in their prime. And especially Frank Lampard scored regularly 15-20 goals a season. He was the highest goal scoring midfielder in the Premier League for many years. And Liverpool, as I said, hadn't had a player like that for a long time. And while Steven Gerrard scored some of his most ridiculous goals from outside the box, he was an all-rounder and not focused on the final third as much as Frank Lampard was. But signing Havertz would give Jurgen Klopp the goals from midfield that this Liverpool side needs to match the likes of Manchester City, and also to match the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus. These clubs are all strengthening massively in the transfer window, signing big players all over the place. And Liverpool, in my opinion, we need to strengthen with at least one big transfer. And Liverpool could even make money on this deal, even though right now Havertz is worth 90 million. If Liverpool sign him and this guy performs at the expected level and Liverpool win multiple trophies, even 5 years from now, Kai Havertz will be just 25 years old, and his resale value will be potentially 150 or even 200 million pounds. So it's a brilliant investment. And as I said, he's just 20 years old, but he's already a generational talent. And the German midfielder is well on his way to becoming one of the world's very best players. And Liverpool, in my opinion, need to make sure that he's banging in the goals in Liverpool and not for Bayern Munich or not for Barcelona. Those are the other two clubs who are linked with Kai Havertz. But Bayern Munich right now are not looking to sign him, and Barcelona already signed Frankie de Jong, Griezmann, so they don't really have the funds anymore to sign Kai Havertz. This guy is available, and Bayer Leverkusen probably is saying that they don't want to lose him for anything less than 100 million euros because they just want to drive his price as high as possible. And notably, Kai Havertz's ex-manager Rainer Kallmund described him as a bit Beckenbauer, a little bit Ballack. And if you look at the Liverpool midfield right now, you would be tempted to say Liverpool don't really need him. But if you look at the Liverpool midfield and you think about the next 3 years, Adam Lallana and James Milner probably won't be here 3 years from now. Especially James Milner is 33 years old, one of the fittest players in the world, but I can't see him keeping this level up for like 3, 4, 5 years. Lallana is the same. And for those players, we would need a replacement, and Kai Havertz would be perfect. In my opinion, he would be, honestly, the perfect Coutinho replacement. As I said, since Liverpool sold Coutinho, Liverpool don't have a midfielder who can score goals regularly. And I think Liverpool need to add another 15-20 goals to their team just to compete with Manchester City, just to try and overtake Manchester City. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp, the Liverpool owner, John W. Henry, the Liverpool managing director, everybody is saying that Liverpool wants to win the Premier League the most. That's their top target for this season. And in order for us to do that, we need to overcome Manchester City. We need to be like perfect during the season. Of course, that's not really possible. You can't go on and win every game in the Premier League. But if we want to overcome Man City, we need to aim for 100 points. And if we want to do that, let's be honest, Liverpool would like to have a midfielder who can bang in 15 goals a season. And at the moment, Liverpool don't have a midfielder like that. Maybe Naby Keita can become a player like that. Maybe Oxlade-Chamberlain can score 10-15 goals if he stays fit. Maybe even Naby Keita or Shaqiri can score 10 goals a season. But those are not guarantees. It's a maybe. If Kai Havertz comes to Liverpool this summer, it's an almost guarantee that he's getting 10-15 goals from midfield. I'm betting on it right now. In my opinion, I would bet on it that he would achieve those numbers, because the amount of chances that Liverpool create is astronomical, which create one of the most chances in the Premier League, maybe only second to Man City. And this guy has the intelligence to arrive at the perfect time in the box and to score those rebounds, to score those assists that the wingers put in, the fullbacks put in. Trent and Robertson would have so much fun with this guy. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness, I'm just drooling about it. Leverkusen's CEO is German midfielder legend Rudi Völler. And he emphasized that, and I quote, "We want to win the German Cup, qualify for the 2020-2021 Champions League and have a successful Champions League campaign this season." So they don't really want to lose one of their best players and one of their biggest talents. And Leverkusen's most important message, according to the CEO, is to withstand offers for Kai Havertz. This is what Rudi Völler said, and I quote, "It proves that we are no longer what you call an educational side, but one that wants to reach our goals with the greatest possible determination." At the moment, the only player that Leverkusen lost, the only major player, is Julian Brandt, because Dortmund triggered his release clause of 25 million euros. But at the moment, Leverkusen's strategy is to basically to maintain their big players, sign more, and try to be a regular top 4 team in the Bundesliga. At the moment, in the previous 5 years, Leverkusen have been like a yo-yo club. One season they finish mid-table, another season they finish in the Champions League places. They want to consolidate their position, so that's why it will be extremely difficult for Liverpool to sign this guy. But I'm still dreaming about this guy, because as soon as I read the Bild article, I was over the moon about it. And Kai Havertz himself commented this, and I quote, "I may want to make the next step shortly, but for now, I regard it as a sign of strength from Leverkusen. I'm only 20 years old and there is plenty of time to face new challenges in the coming years." So Kai Havertz is definitely open to the possibility of leaving Leverkusen and trying out new challenges, but he's in no rush. He's just 20 years old and he knows that at Leverkusen he's playing regularly. So this is going to be difficult if Liverpool want to get this transfer done. But if there is a manager that Kai Havertz would love to play for, I think that's Jurgen Klopp. So I'm really looking forward to this guy and how he develops. And even if Liverpool don't sign him right now, I think it's worth keeping an eye on. And Sadio Mane said in an interview that he is ready, or he would be ready to swap the Champions League victory to winning the Africa Cup of Nations. Senegal will play Algeria in the final, so it's Mane against Mahrez in the Africa Cup of Nations final. I really hope that Mane can pull through, but still, this has been an incredible campaign for Senegal and Algeria as well. They both made the final for the first time in many years, like 15-20 years, something like that. And Mane said about the final, "We know it won't be easy, but it's normal, it's part of football. Algeria is a great team, and now I'm just looking forward to playing in the final and to win it. So good luck to Mane, and I wish you all the best." And Jurgen Klopp said very interesting words about James Milner and how important he is still to Liverpool and Liverpool's success at 33 years old. This is what he said: "What a guy, James Milner. Very important. Improved and developed a lot. Played a few positions, played full season at left back, didn't like it so much, but it helped him. He perhaps enjoyed it more than he knew. Only in sport you speak about 33 years old as an old person. Imagine talking like that about photographers." Hopefully still much to come, and for a guy like him, as long as I'm here, there will always be a place for him. Not always the easier to manage, as he has his own views, likes to know the reasons why you do what you do, could see at various moments last season what it meant to him. Don't know what people in Liverpool thought about him when he arrived on a free transfer, but it was a brilliant idea, as without players like Milner, success in football is impossible. And I fully agree with Jurgen Klopp. Milner is still a very important part of Liverpool, and he can play in various positions. He can play left back, he can play centre midfield, attacking midfielder, right centre midfield, even he can play left winger or left midfielder and right winger or right midfielder, even though those are not his best positions. So I really wish all the best for Milner, and I really hope that he keeps this form up for the next season as well. And there will be a brand new FIFA Club World Cup competition next 2 years from now, so June 2021, and FIFA just confirmed that Real Madrid and Liverpool are the first two clubs that will definitely take part in this 24-team competition. I'm not sure how they will organize it. It's kind of like a European Super League mini tournament, if you like, and I don't really agree with this, but if Liverpool are in it, at least there is a chance of us winning this trophy. So UEFA and FIFA have decided that the previous 4 winners of the Champions League are to compete, and that is Real Madrid and Liverpool, because Real Madrid won the previous 3 tournaments besides Liverpool, and only a couple of clubs from each country will be allowed to take part. So it looks like that from England it will be Manchester City and Liverpool, from Spain probably it will be Barcelona and Real Madrid, and maybe the top 2 clubs from every league every major league will compete in this tournament, and probably South American clubs as well. So it could be an interesting tournament. I just really hope that it doesn't clash with any international tournaments, and it makes sense to hold it in a year where there is no World Cup, no European Championships, but still there will be just more games for the players to play. So I'm not really sure that I agree with this, but at the moment the format is not really clear. So if there are not too many games in this tournament, then I would be favoring this instead of the regular Club World Cup. But reports coming out from Spain are claiming that Liverpool are set to offer Mo Salah a brand new deal worth around £430,000 per week, according to these reports, and that would make him the highest paid Premier League player of all time. And I'm all for this. I mean, it would be like signing a new player because of how much money it is. But if you want to keep the best players at your club, you need to offer the best wages, or some of the best wages in the world, and that would take Mo Salah into the top 10 biggest earners in world football, or certainly in European football. I'm not sure how much wages in China footballers earn, but this would make sense because Mo Salah, let's be honest, he is in the top 10 footballers in the world, in my opinion. In the last 2 years, he has done incredible numbers at Liverpool, and he has played incredibly well, and he is one of the reasons why Liverpool have been so successful. So I'm all for rewarding Salah with bigger and bigger contracts to keep him happy, to show him that we appreciate him to the absolute fullest at Liverpool. And that's how you keep your superstars. You compete for big trophies, hopefully you win big trophies every season, and you give your superstars big contracts so they will be happy. I mean, look at Manchester City, look at Real Madrid, look at Barcelona. They only sell players who they really want to sell. You don't see big stars leaving those clubs because they are unhappy with their contracts or with the club not competing for trophies. And that's the route that Liverpool want to be on. And Jurgen Klopp has said it himself, that Liverpool want to be the club that competes for the highest prizes every season, and they want to be a club that keeps their best players every season, because in the past like 6-7 years we lost too many of our key players. We lost the likes of Xabi Alonso, Mascherano, Luis Suarez, Coutinho, Raheem Sterling, Fernando Torres before that, so many key players, Pepe Reina, and that thankfully Jurgen Klopp put a stop to that. And Jurgen Klopp outlined where Liverpool's focus lies for the new season. This is what he said: the number of games sounds big, with 7 competitions to compete in, but we never try to avoid games, because that means we are having a successful season. The league, as always, will be the main focus. We will chase Manchester City. I don't think they would have made it to 98 points last season if we weren't putting pressure on. And as I said many times, Liverpool's main focus will be the Champions League, but we will try to go far in every competition. We now have the squad to compete in the League Cup, in the FA Cup, because we have so many players like Lallana, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Joe Gomez coming back from injury. And we also have many young players. We have Nathan Clyne back, we have Harry Wilson, Ryan Kent, Ryan Brewster, Ben Woodburn. These are players who could play as a squad player in many competitions, many different competitions. So I really hope that Liverpool take the League Cup and the FA Cup seriously and just try to win as many trophies as possible. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.